Here's a bit of an update and guidance for landlords based on the government's announcement in the last week of an easing of the lockdown measures for England. Now, bear in mind this applies to England only. In Wales and Scotland, they're still applying a stricter version of lockdown at this stage. So, to begin with, and this was the same even during the full coronavirus or COVID-19 lockdown, essential repairs can still go ahead as long as there is no one living in the rented property who is showing symptoms of coronavirus or COVID-19 or who is a vulnerable person who is shielding at the moment from the disease. Now, that was the case even during the lockdown period, so that's just to clarify, essential repairs and maintenance can go ahead. That's things like gas safety certificates, electrical safety checks, dealing with leaks, dealing with problems with heating and hot water systems, dealing with problems with the electrical systems. Those would all be classed as essential repairs. The change from this week is a little bit of a relaxation around non-essential repairs and maintenance. What the guidance actually says from this week is we can go back to something resembling normality. Tradespeople can go into properties, lettings agents can go into properties for the purpose of doing inspections, conducting repairs and maintenance. However, we still have to observe social distancing measures. So that's yourself as a landlord or the agents or tradespeople acting on your behalf. That means maintaining that 2-metre distance where possible, preferably having tenants stay in another room while work's being carried out, or even better, maybe the tenant goes out to take some exercise or goes into the back garden of the property if that's available, while staff are working within that property. So that means that things like regular cleaning and HMOs can go ahead, some of those smaller repairs and maintenance jobs can go ahead, non-essential things can go ahead, and kind of the day-to-day business of lettings gets back to normal as long as you're doing it in a socially distanced type way. One of the other things to be aware of as well, and this is a recommendation that's come out from the major landlord groups, it's also a recommendation, not a requirement, from the governments as well, and a lot of local authorities are making this a recommendation too. As a landlord, consider doing a deep clean in between tenancies at this stage, and that's really just about keeping tenants safe. Yes, we all know that as a tenant vacates a property, they should do a thorough clean of that property, otherwise there could be a potential claim against the deposit. What we're talking about here is an additional clean done at the landlord's expense to make sure that your incoming tenant is safe, and that's just about making sure that there's no traces of coronavirus bacteria left in the property at all post the tenancy, keeping your lettings agents safe and protected from the disease while they're doing viewings and they're showing prospective tenants, keeping those prospective tenants safe, but also keeping your incoming tenants safe as well. It's not something you can charge a tenant for. As I say, it's not a legal requirement, but it is something that's being recommended by a lot of bodies as best practice, and I think it is something worthwhile doing, and maybe using that as one of the things that you tell prospective tenants to show that you are taking this seriously and to set yourself apart from some of the other landlords in the marketplace as well.